Good morning, everyone. My name is Aungsumalee, and today I will going to present the findings of the political economy analysis of health financing reforms in Thailand. Methods used in this study were document reviews and key informant interviews. Throughout this presentation, I will lay out the context of health financing reforms and addressing the roles of the crisis and the strategy that adopted by the change team to move forward the reform process. So, first of all, I would like to briefly introduce about health financing reform in Thailand. Actually, it was happened during the 2001 to 2002. And following this reform, Thailand has achieved the universal health coverage under the three public health insurance schemes. And the new scheme which has been introduced to cover the uninsured population is the Universal Coverage Scheme or the UCS. And this is a tax-funded scheme with a comprehensive benefit package and having the primary care as a gatekeeper. So here I would like to lay out the contextual factors as the backdrop of this reform. As you may know that Thailand has a political instability and we always move forth and back between the democracy and military rules. The advancements of the democracy in Thailand happened in the 1990s. And this happened by the adoption of 1997 Thai Constitution. And this constitution is very important because it brought the political system change and also
Recording in progress.
and, and also increase the engagement of civil society organizations in Thailand. This constitution gave the center of power to the Prime Minister office, and this enhanced the political stability, which never happened before. In addition, it expanded the scope of the public participation, and the role of the civil society organization in the political decision making and policy formulation. Next, I would like to address here that in this constitution, it was clearly stated that healthcare is the right of the Thai citizen, which shall be provided by the state, which means that the state has the responsible to provide healthcare for all Thais. And although Thailand has developed economic growth during the 1960s to 1990s, but due to the crisis, the GDP capita is dropped to 2008, and the out-of-pocket expenditure at the 2000 is around 34% in this year. And our findings show that the crisis has been served as the catalyst for reform due to the following reasons. As the crisis happened, it increased the demand for social protection more than ever. Lots of people they suffer from the economic recession. At the same time, this crisis accelerated the adoption of the 1997 Thai Constitution, as I mentioned before, that it makes change a lot to the political system and the public participation. At the same time, the crisis they gave the rise of the new political leader, who placed the UCS as the political campaign. And after all together of this, it brought a political window of opportunity for reform in Thailand. After the Thai Rak Thai Party won the election, the UCS became the political priorities, and it was implemented rapidly, with less than 1 year. And so, our findings show that the crisis is not delayed, but is the catalyst that increased the demand for reform in Thai society, including the health sector. So from here, although there are several stakeholders play role in this reform, but I would like to address the role of the change team, who are the key stakeholders who push forward the health reform in Thailand. They involved in the whole reform process, starting from the beginning at the agenda setting until the implementation of the UCS. The change team, there are the progressive health bureaucrats that occupy the executive position at the Ministry of Public Health and also other public organizations. And to be more specific, there are doctors who experience in the rural areas and they share the commitment of helping the poor. And also they also share the value on the district health system. And the change team, they're waiting for the window opportunity for the reform. Actually, there is not the reform. There are like pushed a lot of several attempts, but it was happened around the 2001. And they mobilized the essential resource starting from the bureaucratic, political, and social levels, and also using the evidence to back up the UCS design and implementation. Here, this is the strategies that used by change team. And you may see from this table that the change team, they use the different strategies to the particular stakeholders. For example, in the leadership politics, they use the informal persuasion to the prime minister. Previously, he is the political leader, and he used the evidence to convince the political leaders with the evidence backed up that it is feasible for both financial and implementation. And this allows to make the UCS as a political campaign for the policy. And also in terms of beneficiary politics, the change team, they engage the civil society organization and mobilize them and engage them to move reform forward. It's not only the process of the policy in formulation of agenda setting, but also after the reform as well. And in terms of the bureaucratic politics, the change team also used the persuasion as well. The persuasion together with the involvement to release or reduce the tension to prevent the reform, to prevent them to prohibit the reform. And also another interesting point that I would like to address here is about the budget politics. The change team, they the strategy they use is the change decision-making process. It here is mean the bypass the decision from the Ministry of Finance to the Prime Minister, and this allows to allocate the budget to the UCS scheme. And it cannot be the budget constraint because it was decided by the Prime Minister, and it cannot slow down the reform due to the budget deficit. And for the external partner politics, this is referred to the international organization, and the change team involved the international organization who support the value of the USC to pronounce this reform out loud and prevent from the other international organization who said that Thailand will bankrupt if we implement the UCS. And the last one, the way that to manage the opponent groups is that the rapid implementation of the reform. And this is very important, right? When you reform quickly, it's difficult for the opponent to prevent the reform. And this reform happened very fast within less than 1 year. So yeah, it's also one the important strategy that make the reform happen. Thank you very much.